Hey, good morning, everybody. Today we're going to be reading from the New Oxford Annotated Bible with the Apocrypha, and I just wanted to highlight some passages in Second Esdras, because I believe they apply to our time if we know what we're looking at. So without further ado, all praise to Ahaya. We'll get started. So Second Esdras chapter 11, it says, "On the second night I had a dream." And this is Ezra. "I saw rising from the sea an eagle that had 12 feathered wings, and the wings represent kings, and 3 heads. The 3 heads, I believe, are the nation states of the Vatican, Washington, D.C., and London. Not London, the city proper, but within London, the city, there's also, like, I don't even know how to describe it legally, but there's also a separate organization that's set up like a country. It's probably, I think it's in downtown London, something like that. But those 3 nation states, London, the Vatican, and Washington, D.C., are the 3-headed eagle that's going to be discussed. And just so you know and you're aware, the spiritual head of the eagle is the Vatican, the financial head of the eagle is London, and the military arm of the eagle is the United States, D.C. All right. I saw it spread its wings over the whole earth, right? So they colonized the whole earth. We've already seen that happen in the last 300, 400 years. And all the winds of heaven blew upon it, and the clouds were gathered around it. I saw that out of its wings grew opposing wings, so kings that didn't like what they were doing. But they became little, puny wings, third world countries. But its heads were at rest. The middle of the head was larger than the other heads, so the financial arm, right? But it too was at rest with them. Then I saw the eagle flew with its wings and reigned over the earth and over those who inhabit it. And I saw how all things under heaven were subjected to it. That's why we kind of have a one world monetary system. I know it doesn't feel like it because everybody has local currencies, but everything runs through the dollar. If you haven't kind of put that together already, the dollar is essentially accepted in most places, or it's very easy to trade with it in most places. Continuing. And no one spoke against it, the system. Not a single creature that was on earth. Then I saw the eagle rise upon its talons and uttered a cry to its wings, saying, "Do not watch all the same time. Let each sleep in its own place and watch in its turn, but let the heads be reserved for the last." I looked again and saw that the heads, I looked again and saw the voice did not come from its heads, but from the middle of its body. I counted its rival wings, and there were 8 of them. As I watched one wing on the right side rose up, and it reigned over all the earth. And after a time its reign came to an end, and it disappeared, so that even its place was no longer visible. And then the next wing rose up and reigned and continued to reign for a long time. While it was reigning, its end came to an end also, so it disappeared like the first. And a voice sounded saying, "Listen to me, you who have ruled the earth all this time. I announce to you before you disappear. After you, none shall rule as long as you have ruled, not even half as long." Then the third wing raised itself up and held rule as the earlier ones had done, and it also disappeared. And so it went with all the wings. They wielded power one after another, and they were never seen again. I kept looking, and in due time the wings that followed all rose up on the right side in order to rule. There were some of them that ruled, yet disappeared suddenly. And others of them rose up, but did not hold the rule. And after this I looked and saw that the 12 wings and the 2 little wings had disappeared. And nothing remained on the eagle's body except the 3 heads that were at rest and the 6 little wings. As I kept looking, I saw 2 little wings separated from the 6 and remained under the head that was on the right side, but 4 remained in their place. Then I saw these little wings plan to set themselves up and hold the rule. All right. So it seems like there's some infighting going on amongst the people ruling. We don't see it from where we're at if you're not looking sharply enough, but I think that's what was going on with Saddam Hussein and Gaddafi and all these people that kind of wanted to use, their knowledge of how financial systems could work to get the world off of the dollar monetary system, and that's why they were taken out. That's my opinion. I don't know that for sure, but that's just kind of what I see when I'm reading this. As I kept looking, one was set up but suddenly disappeared, a second also, but they disappeared more quickly than the first. While I continued to look, the two that remained were planning between themselves to reign together. And while they were planning, one of the heads that were at rest, the one that was in the middle, which I believe is London, suddenly awoke, and it was greater than the other two heads. And I saw how it allied the two heads with itself, and how the head turned with those that were with it and devoured two little wings that were planning to reign. Moreover, this head gained control of the whole earth, and with much oppression dominated its inhabitants. It had greater power over the world than all the wings that had gone before. And I think that's where we are about to be right now in time, right? It looks like there's a big shift coming, a big power play where one person, one nation wants to take control, and I think that's where we are. Afterward, this looked again, and I saw the head in the middle of its body suddenly disappear, just as his wings had done. But the two heads remained, which also in like manner ruled over the earth and its inhabitants. And while I looked, I saw the head on the right side devour the one on the left. So that's more infighting. Then I heard a voice and say to me, look in front of you and consider what you see. When I looked, I saw it seemed to be a lion roused from the forest, roaring. The lion rousing from the forest, I believe that is either Yahushua or the other Elijah, the other end times a servant. And I heard how it uttered a human voice to the eagle. Actually, so that tells me that it's a human walking the earth. So that's probably Elijah for our time. And spoke, saying, listen, I will speak to you. The Most High says to you, are you not the one that remains of the four beasts that I had made to reign in my world, so that the end of my times might come through them? So that's going to be a person talking these big words, the Most High's words to the nations, rebuking the nations. You, the fourth that has come, probably in a court setting, have conquered all the beasts that have gone before, and you have held sway over all the world with your great terror and over all the earth and your grievous oppression. And for so long, you have lived on the earth with deceit. All right. So from where I sit, you guys can see my skin. I'm African American. If you want to, or that's what I used to call myself. Just got to get out of the habit. But you know what I'm trying to say. I'm a darker skin tone person. So I know exactly, from my perspective, the deceit that has happened. They stole the land of the Most High's people and other people as well, and then subjected us to their control through, economic forces, and then stripping away true education and giving us a false education, so that we don't know how to do anything, and we're completely reliant on them and their system. All right, let me keep going. You have judged the whole earth, but not with truth, for you have opposed the meek and injured the peaceable. You have hated those who tell the truth and have loved liars. This is exactly what's going on today. Most of the Congress people, the people running the show, people making decisions for everybody else, they're all liars. They're all self-absorbed, completely out of touch with the regular people. And honestly, I believe they come from bloodline families. Like, they're all in on it. They all know what they're doing. They all know what they're into. And have loved liars. You have destroyed the homes of those who brought forth fruit. Think of Rosewood. Think of Black Wall Street. Think of all those places where, black people were just trying to do good, live in harmony, and they were actually doing so. And then the police, the government come in, kill everybody, burn everything down, and leave us with nothing, right? All right. And have laid low the walls of those who did you no harm. Again, we're a peaceable people by nature, but they always start stuff. Your insolence has come up before the Most High, and your pride to the Mighty One. The Most High has looked at his times, and now they have ended, and his ages have reached completion. Therefore, you, eagle. Who's the eagle? Again, the specific eagle in this case is America. Will surely disappear. You and your terrifying wings, your most little evil wings. Actually, it's America. It's what I just said. America, London, and the Vatican. It's the system. Melissa said, your most evil talent, your whole worthless body, so that the whole earth, freed from your violence, may be refreshed and relieved, and may hope for the judgment and mercy of him who made it. While the lion was saying these things to the eagle, I looked and saw that the remaining head disappeared. The two wings had gone up over to it, rose up and set themselves up to rain. And their rain was brief and full of tumult. When I looked again, they were already vanishing. The whole body of the eagle was burned. So that's the economy, the system, the supply chain, the way we do things, done, finished. That's what it's saying. And the earth was exceedingly terrified. Then I woke up in great perplexity of mind and in great fear, and said to my spirit, you have brought this upon me because you search out the ways of the Most High. I am still weary in mind and very weak in my spirit, and not even a little strength is left in me because of a great fear which I have been terrified tonight. I'm laughing now, but says Esdras, he had a dream all this time ago, and he's scared for us. Imagine what he must have saw in that dream for him to be scared of a situation that he's not even in. Imagine, right? We should have the same fear, but we should have that fear like a fear of the Most High, and use that to get us going, and to really seek out truth and understanding and wisdom and all those things, so we can hopefully be on the right side of things as these last days progress, right? All right. I'm still very weary in my mind and my spirit. Not even strength is left in me because of the great fear which I have been terrified tonight. Therefore, I will now entreat the Most High that he may strengthen me to the end. Then I said, O sovereign Lord, if I have found favor in your sight, and if I have been accounted righteous before you, beyond many others, and if my prayer has indeed come up before your face, strengthen me and show me, your servant, the interpretation and meaning of this terrifying vision, that you may fully comfort my soul. For you have judged me worthy to be shown the end of the times and the last events of the times. He said to me, this is the interpretation, of this vision that you have seen. The eagle that you saw coming up from the sea is the fourth kingdom, that appeared in a vision to your brother Daniel, but it was not explained to him as I explain it to you now, or have explained it. The days are coming when a kingdom shall rise on the earth, and it shall be more terrifying than all the kingdoms that have been before it. And 12 kings shall reign on it, one after the other. But the second king shall hold sway for a longer time than the other 12. This is the interpretation of the 12 wings that you saw. As for you, hearing a voice that spoke, coming not from the eagle, but from the midst of its body, this is the interpretation. In the midst of the time of the kingdom of great struggle shall arise, and it shall be in danger of falling. Nevertheless, it shall not fall then, but it shall regain its former power. As for you seeing 8 little wings clinging to its wings, this is the interpretation. The 8 kings shall arise in it, whose time shall be short and their years swift. 2 of them shall perish when the middle of the time shall draw near. 4 shall be kept for a time when its end approaches, but 2 shall be kept until the end. As for your seeing 3 heads at rest, this is the interpretation. In its last days, the Most High will raise up 3 kings, and they shall renew many things in it, and shall rule the earth and its inhabitants more oppressively than all who were before them. Therefore, they are called the heads of the eagle. London, Italy, and the U.S., D.C. Because it is they who shall sum up his wickedness and perform his last actions. I've been saying for a long time, I believe the guy sitting on in D.C. now is the king of Assyria, as explained in Isaiah. He's our version of that person. You can go look at what the king of Assyria did and what he plans to do, especially to Yah's people. As for you seeing the large head disappeared, one of the kings shall die in his bed, but in agonies. But as for the 2 who remain, the sword shall devour them. For the sword of one shall devour him who was with him, but he shall also fall by the sword in the last days. So to me, again, that seems like infighting. As for you, seeing the 2 little wings passing over to the head, which was on the right side, this is the interpretation. It is these who the Most High has kept for the eagle's end. This was the reign which was brief and full of tumult, as you have seen. And as for the lion whom ye saw rising out of the forest and speaking to the eagle, reproving him for his unrighteousness and for all his words of you has heard, this is the Messiah, whom the Most High has kept until the end of days, and who will arise from the offspring of David and will come and speak with them. He will denounce them for their ungodliness and for their wickedness, and will display before them their contemptuous dealings. For first he will bring them alive before his judgment seat, and when he has reproved them, then he will destroy them. But in mercy he will set free the remnant of my people who have been savage throughout my borders, and he will make them joyful until the end comes, the day of judgment, of which I spoke to you at the beginning. This is the dream that you saw, and this is the interpretation. And you alone were worthy alone to learn the secret of the Most High. Therefore, write all these things you have seen in a book and put it in a hidden place, and you shall teach them to the wise among your people, whose hearts are able to understand, able to comprehend and keep these secrets. But as for you, wait here 7 days more, so that you may be shown whatever it pleases the Most High to show you. Then he left me. All right, almost there. When all the people heard the 7 days were past, and I had not returned to the city, they gathered from the least to the greatest, and came to me and spoke to me, saying, how have we offended you? What harm have we done that you have forsaken us and sit in this place? For of all the prophets, you alone are left to us, like a cluster of grapes from the vintage, like a lamp in a dark place, and like a haven for a ship saved from a storm. Are not the disasters that have befallen us enough? Therefore, if you forsake us, how much better would have been for if we had also been consumed in the burning of Zion? For we are no better than those who died there, and they wept with a loud voice. Then I answered them and said, take courage, O Israel, and do not be sorrowful, O house of Jacob, for the Most High has you in remembrance, and the Mighty One has not forgotten you in your struggle. As for me, I have neither forsaken you nor withdrawn you, but have come to this place to pray on the account of the desolation of Zion, to seek mercy on your account of humiliation of our sanctuary. Now go to your homes, every one of you, and after these days I will come to you. So the people went into the city as I told them, but I stayed in the field 7 days as the angel commanded me, and I only ate the flowers of the field, and my food was of plants during those days. All right, so I'm going to stop right here for today. I just wanted to read through a little bit of 2nd Esdras and let you guys know what I see as I see it. Again, we were reading from the New Annotated Bible with the Apocrypha. If you guys please comment and let me know what else you may see, as we all look forward to going home very, very soon. And again, home is Nevada/Utah. The Most High explains in detail in the Tanakh and the Old Testament, using agricultural metaphors and similes of what to look out for, because he knew the maps were going to be changed. So, certain plants only grow in certain areas, or certain trees only grow in certain areas in this world. And it all fits the West Coast of the United States. I hope this helps you guys with your studies, especially to, my fellow descendants of Jacob, descendants of Israel, children of the Most High. I love you. All praise to Yah.